There you are. Welcome to Dungeon Hacks. I'm your host, the Dungeon Keeper, and today I'm touching on a subject very close to what's left of my heart. Traps. Any dungeon worth its hoard has them, and why not? They never sleep, they're always ready, and sometimes they even outlast your residency. But if you're finding your pitfalls and hidden blades just aren't as discouraging as you'd hoped, don't despair. I'll show you how to put the death back in your death traps. When you think of traps, chances are you're thinking of the classics. You know, pressure plates, tripwires, and the like. There's nothing wrong with them, they're classics for a reason, but they're also pretty dull. If you want to catch your intruders off guard, my suggestion is to use a different trigger. Not just a different trigger, though. You need one they won't expect. One that suits your dungeon's needs. For example, say you've staffed your sanctum with smaller creatures, goblins, kobolds, imps, or what have you. Put down traps that react to weight and drop someone right into the floor. You might not catch any monks or sorcerers in these little holes, but that walking foundry clanking along in the rear will splinter the floorboards. Even if you don't put him down a pit, he might maroon his companions on the other side. Alternatively, say your minions can see in darkness. If that's the case, make sure your traps are triggered by any bright light source. Or if your minions are silent, make sure your traps are triggered by sound instead.
Help me. Help.
When you put a trap down, most of the time you're depending on a chance encounter. If someone walks down this hall, you think, then they'll snap the tripwire, break the light beam, or cough too loudly, and that's a one-way ticket to Scytheblade City. The problem with that approach is you've booby-trapped your own hallway, and the last thing you need is your enforcer Hakar setting the damn thing off every time he goes outside for a smoke break. But what's the alternative? Setting traps outside the main corridors? If you're doing that, you need to make those traps enticing. You need adventurer bait. The easy way to do that is to appeal to their goodness or to their greed. A trap surrounded by treasure, or what looks like treasure, can catch them off guard with ease. Someone in danger, preferably someone helpless, can also get the fools to rush in. And if you're going to use illusion, remember to use a double trigger. A proximity one to make the kidnapped child or bound maiden appear, but which also starts the countdown for the fireball for those who get close enough to interact with your hook. When you think of poison, chances are you see it as a trap's main course. The needle is pointless, so to speak. It's just there to deliver the nasty stuff into the intruder's bloodstream. Instead, think of poison as a garnish. Put it on everything, and eventually some of it will get through. You have an arrow trap in your main hallway? Envenom the heads. A spiked pit near your back door? Marinate the stakes in some bad juju. Spring-loaded spears near your bathroom? Hidden caltrops in the basement. Falling guillotines in the living room. Be generous with that death sauce. I can hear a few little voices out there protesting the cost. Poison is expensive, you say. And you're right. Some poisons are. But if you're going for quantity over quality, it's all right to use the cheap stuff. Don't worry if the save against it is low. There's a 1 on every die, and if you make those intruders roll often enough, it'll turn up. While we're on the subject of entrees, too many dungeon masters treat their traps as standalones. They have a security system that's either a mesh of magical and mechanical traps, or they're relying on old-fashioned muscle and creature features to keep the unwanteds out of their sanctum sanctorum. I say, why not both? Picture this. A gang of armored thugs enters your home without permission, and they're faced with an open room. One step inside, and jets of gas start hissing. They make a break for it, only to find a squad of skeleton warriors barring their path. While the Bone Brigade might not stand a chance on their own, all they have to do is hold the line until your unwelcome guests succumb to the vapors. You could make all sorts of scenarios. A room full of pit traps that could be avoided with care and luck, but there's a team of archers taking potshots from cover. Set shocking floor tiles in a room with a shambling mound. Get creative here. The sky is the limit. Lots of traps are single-target affairs. Someone falls in a pit, someone gets a rock dropped on them, someone gets hit with a dart, and so on and so forth. The thing is, though, those traps can miss. A tower shield can catch darts and arrows. A fast enough point man could dodge a tiger pit, etc. Traps with onset delay, though, they never miss. It doesn't matter what kind of armor you have on when the walls start closing in. If the floor is withdrawing, it doesn't matter how slick you are. As soon as the trap's activated, the clock starts ticking, and if you can't get out of the way, you get crushed. That's why these traps are some of my favorites, especially the ones that fill a room with water. Then undead crocodiles, just to be sure. That's all for this installment of Dungeon Hacks. If you've got questions, curiosities, or concerns, toss them in the comments section below. If you want more, then subscribe to the channel and tell all your friends about it, especially your dungeon master. Until next time.